So KP से भी निकली है. His wife and KP CM Gundapur is in the same convoy. Uh, it's like nearly more than 50,000 people are heading in that convoy. फिर डेरा खेल से एक कॉन्वॉय निकली है, उसमें about 30-40,000 लोग उधर हैं. इस्लामाबाद में अभी फायरिंग हुई है पीटीआई वर्कर्स पे. सो वहां पर कुछ इंजरीज जो है अभी रिपोर्ट हुई है. एग्जैक्ट नंबर नहीं है बट 7 to 8 कह रहे हैं. टीयर गैस शेलिंग इज वेरी हाई. इन्होंने सारे मोटरवे तो बंद कर दिए और कंटेनर्स लगाए हैं. सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ ब्रिक बैट ऑल नाइट एंड बाय मॉर्निंग वी हैव अ वेरी क्लियर पिक्चर ऑफ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन पाकिस्तान. So, but as you know, expected and as what we had predicted, this is the final show. So either this will swing either way. Either the PTI will completely disappear, they will go against Imran and they will lock everybody up, right, and finish them off, or they will leave some scope of negotiation, and in that case, Imran will come out as a winner.
Guys,
but we are seeing not a very good sign in Pakistan.
Just a second. Actually, YouTube refresh नहीं हो रहा था. तो guys, if अगर आपका start नहीं हुआ है, please refresh your YouTube. It will switch on. As I was saying before, Raja ji is actually attending to a friend. ठीक है, and उनके friend को थोड़ी सी चोट लगी थी तो वो हॉस्पिटल लेके आए हुए हैं. लेकिन you know he said यार ये तो करना ही है, तो थोड़ा हमने डिले करा and he's been kind enough to take out the time to actually talk to us about this, क्योंकि राजा साहब का ही पूरा claim था. We wanted to actually listen to him, and thank you so much Raja ji once again, and I'd leave you with the analysis. सर ने अभी हमने जो बात करी है about इमरान खान, कि इमरान खान का क्या चक्कर चल रहा है. लेकिन मेरे को एक चीज बताओ यार, इमरान खान के ऊपर इतने सारे लोग अभी चढ़े हुए हैं. गंडापुर है, बुशरा बीवी को चढ़ाया हुआ है, उसकी बहन भी है. They are all trying to apparently, allegedly talk to इमरान खान कि उसको थोड़ा सा पेड़ से नीचे उतारा जाए. ना करो ये सब झगड़े वगड़े, ना करो, सीधे हो जाओ, एस्टैब्लिशमेंट से बात करो, सीधा करो. बट इमरान खान का जो एक नैरेटिव है कि मैं किसी से बात बूत नहीं करता, जो करना है कर लो टाइप्स. What do you think about this whole game? And guys, by the way, what we will do is we will get Raja Saab once again in this week so that we can actually have a little more detailed discussion about this.
We'll just do a short one today. I'll just give you the background. See, Imran is ready to negotiate with the establishment. Okay. So he has made a committee saying that there is a committee of PTI जिसमें गौहर है, barrister गौहर and all those. CM गुंडापुर है कि जो establishment से बात कर सकती है. So he is saying कि एक तो हम protest करेंगे, हम हिलेंगे नहीं जब तक कि आप हमारी बातें नहीं मानोगे. और अगर जब negotiation शुरू होती है between the establishment and the PTI, these are the people who will negotiate on my part. But आर्मी का जो स्टेटमेंट है वो बड़ा क्लियर है कि हम ना पीटीआई से बात करेंगे ना उनके साथ को नेगोशिएट करेंगे. बट नोइंग पाकिस्तानी आर्मी, it is like a U-turn army, and every time they say something, they do something else. So be prepared that they will make a U-turn by morning if these people are able to reach Islamabad. Because जो convoy का sizes, क्योंकि there is mobile towers are taken down, internet is taken down, mobile कई जगह पाकिस्तान में नहीं चल रहा है. So they have entirely snapped the connection. But this General Asim Munir said कि I want to protect digital borders. Geographical borders are shrinking. He's not worried about it. He's worried about the digital borders. So digital borders को protection के लिए the only thing he knows is that he cuts down the internet. So that tells you the kind of a management the man has even on the internet. But still they are not being able to stop it completely. We are getting feed some बहुत कम आ रही है but आ रही है. Sources are sending me some, कहीं पे वीडियो भी दिख रहे हैं, कहीं पे कुछ भी हो रहा है. पीटीआई जो है वो लंदन से कर रही है. एंड पीटीआई का आज का जो प्रोटेस्ट है ये वर्ल्ड ओवर है. सो दे आर नॉट डूइंग इट ओनली इन पाकिस्तान, दे आर डूइंग इट इन यूरोपियन कंट्रीज, दे आर डूइंग इट इन लंदन, दे आर डूइंग इट इन यूएस, एंड देयर इज अ ह्यूज क्राउड ऑफ पीपल, Pakistanis who are actually protesting out in London also, in US also, in Europe also. So PTI has actually gone all out against the establishment. And this can either end one way. This is going to end in a way where either they will have to compromise with Imran Khan and either release him or talk to him or find some medium way out, or Imran is going to create chaos in Pakistan for rest of 1 month or something. So I don't think this is going to die down. इन्होंने कई पीटीआई के लीडर्स को अरेस्ट किया है, but that arrests have also not deterred people from coming out. Even Islamabad we were expecting कि उतना turnout नहीं होगा, given the kind of crackdown they had done. But Islamabad में भी जो protester turnout है वो actually more than what we were expecting, at least what I was expecting. कि इतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा, but the turnout is bigger. So people are out on the street, they are angry. और जो ये अभी एक तो इसमें एक और चीज है, एक तो ये जो अभी किलिंग्स हुई है ना पराचिनार में, जो पाकिस्तान
हाँ
रिपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है, पाकिस्तानी मीडिया रिपोर्ट नहीं कर रही है. आई थिंक दिस अ लॉट ऑफ एंगर इन पीपल अबाउट दैट आल्सो, कि नथिंग इज गोइंग राइट इन द कंट्री, economics is not going right, nothing is going right in the country, right? And I think जो establishment के अपने लोग हैं, अब उन्होंने भी थोड़ा थोड़ा इसको criticize करना शुरू कर दिया है. They have started criticizing the journal, saying things openly about what is happening there. So I think he's bit on a back foot, and that is what Imran has sensed out कि this is the time to, you know, take the reins in his own control. So that is what
बट
is happening in Pakistan.
मुझे अभी सबसे बड़ी चीज ये बताओ कि ये जो इमरान खान का पूरा गेम है, इट इज वेरी वेल टाइम्ड. एक वो बेलारूस से एक टीम आ रही है पाकिस्तानी आर्मी से मिलने के लिए. तो ये वो बेलारूस से वो लोग ये खरीदते हैं ना, ये दे बाय ऑल दीज मेटल खरीदते हैं बेलारूस से, तो उनसे कुछ डील्स करने के लिए आ रही है. तो ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टाइमिंग कर रहा है कि भाई इंटरनेशनल मीडिया का भी थोड़ा फोकस रहेगा. बेलारूस इज वेरी क्लोज टू रशिया, तो वहां पर भी फोकस रहेगा. तीसरा, ये डोनाल्ड ट्रंप का जो गेम खेल रहे हैं ये लोग, दे हैव बीन ट्राइंग टू लॉबी टुवर्ड्स डोनाल्ड ट्रंप कि वहां पर भी कुछ अगर कुछ नाम शाम आ जाए, कुछ हो जाए. हाउ मच आपको कितना लगता है ये सब चीज हो सकती है?
It is, see, this is why I have picked up that date of 22nd November plus minus 1 week, because I knew the US elections would be over. By that time, either Biden would have been back squarely into the power, and their lobby center within the Democrats would have worked, and they would know that the transition is going to happen. So Biden will create problems for everybody. He's already done that in India by inducting Adani. So they would they actually calculated this period. PTI calculated this period, and this is where my 22nd November date was coming in. कि this was the golden period for इमरान खान, क्योंकि एक बार डोनाल्ड ट्रंप आ जाता ना, तो उसके बाद इमरान को लॉबी करना उसके लिए बहुत एक तो मुश्किल हो जाता है, and that would have been stretched way too far for him to be in his comfort zone of exerting his own influence. Right now, what they had done is they had secured that influence in the Western world, especially in the deep state in US, and they, that is why you saw all those letters going to UK MPs, all those letters going to congressmen in US. So they were in that mood. So they knew even if the transition would happen, would still come out on the streets, and because the reins is still in their hands, will still be able to bargain what we wanted to bargain. So same is with the Belarusians. इन्होंने जो इमरान का सबसे बड़ा जो स्ट्रॉन्ग जो वीक पॉइंट था ना, वो इसकी फॉरेन डिप्लोमेसी थी, बट दे हैव मेड अ डील विद द अमेरिकंस, अ पार्ट ऑफ द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट, part of deep state. So he has some sort of backing, and also Muslim Brotherhood is giving them some sort of backing vis-a-vis Bangladesh. This is what we'll talk in length when we do a one, so I can compare it because it's important. So they already have Yunus there. They're worried about Yunus to go. They would not want somebody in Pakistan which is completely, anti, would not be able to fill up their agenda. So that is why Imran timed this at this moment. And this moment is very, very important. Before this moment, attacks in KP increased. Their, they took a heavy loss. 100 बंदी उनके मारे गए. उसके बाद parachinar में हुआ, Shia Sunni हुआ. So that ISKP game is also clearing up at one point another, at one point of time. So this all is a very timed event which is happening in Pakistan. These are not isolated events which are happening. They all have a, kind of a trail to each other. They are linked to each other. So that is why the violence is up. And now Balochistan.
बालाचिनार का जो आपने बताया है, एंड गाइस ये जरा ध्यान से सुनना, बिकॉज आई हैव अ थ्योरी एंड आई एम गोइंग टू बाउंस इट ऑफ राजा साहब एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट ही हैज टू से अबाउट इट. बालाचिनार के अंदर जो मेन इंसिडेंट हुआ है, इट्स गॉन अगेंस्ट शियाज. नाउ मैं आप सबको लेके जाना चाहता हूँ थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री लेसन में. व्हेन इराक एंड सीरिया के अंदर क्या नाम है, शिया और सुन्नीज का वो जो इशू शुरू हुआ था, जब इस्लामिक स्टेट का राइज हुआ था, वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट वी सॉ कि इस्लामिक स्टेट का जो उस टाइम पे हेड था अबू बकर अल बगदादी, व्हाट ही डिड वाज ही वेंट अहेड एंड स्टार्टेड हिटिंग शियाज. उसके बाद क्या हुआ, अलकायदा की तरफ से उसकी तरफ काफी चिट्ठियां मिट्ठियां आई थी कि यार ये मुसलमान को मारना बंद करो, वो ठीक बात नहीं है तुम्हारी. तो दिस इज समथिंग दैट हैपेंड देयर. एंड ये जो टेलटेल साइंस मेरे को जो ये परचिनार एरिया में और इस एरिया में दिखते हैं कि ये कुछ सेक्टेरियन वायलेंस की तरफ जा रहा है. एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई फाइंड कि ये डज इट साउंड लाइक द rise of ISIS? That is something
it is a rise of ISIS. It is. पारा चिनार में पिछले 3 महीने से चल रहा है. खुर्रम एजेंसी में, if you remember last time also I told you there Shia Sunni happening. We have talked about this couple of times, right? This time they deliberately did this. अब आप देखो वहाँ sectarian इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है कि the Shia Zibayun is directly involved and Zibayun is backed by Iran. It is directly involved in attacking the Sunnis. They beheaded a Sunni cleric also and displayed his head. The Sunnis are now fighting. That is what has happened. So it is direct between the Iranians within the Zibayun and the ISIS. Now what they want to do is, because they have clicked this thing, what they would want now is that anybody who will be fighting in Kuram now, they will be recruiting them for ISIS. This is what I was saying कि ISIS game. This is the beginning of that game.
एक सेकंड आपका, you'll have to repeat this last part, थोड़ा कट हो गया था. Anybody who's
So now they are fighting the Zibayun brigade, which is Iranian backed completely. Now whoever will be fighting will slowly join the ISKP. This is what they have promised the Americans, that will engage the Iranians in our backyard. This is the beginning of that. So this Shia-Sunni conflict, हालांकि ये आता तो अफगानिस्तान के border पे है, right? But I am now thinking कि now this might even spread towards the Afghan side. The ISKP guys will now go into Afghanistan to hit the Shia sites. So the Taliban has to be very, very careful on one side. On the other side, now this is the engagement between the Iranians and the ISKP militia or the terrorists in between Pakistan and Iran. So that game has just begun. That's what I'm saying.
So आप जो बोल रहे हो कि भाई this is basically to get Iran, because ईरान का जो फोकस है और ये चीज हम काफी टाइम से बोल रहे हैं कि भाई पाकिस्तान विल ट्राई, अपनी पूरी कोशिश करेगा अमेरिकन की तरफ से कि ईरान को कहीं ना कहीं सेकंड फ्रंट की तरफ दिया जाए, ताकि उसको एक क्लियर एंड सिंपल थ्रेट दिया जाए. नाउ हाउ डू यू थिंक दैट इज गोना गो फॉरवर्ड अभी?
So this is the beginning. If this increases, now the Pakistanis are saying carry out, and what they also want to do is they want to carry out a military operation under this garb in KP. So there are a lot of people in KP who are saying that Pakistani army needs to intervene. So they are looking for a perfect opportunity to go against the TTP also in this. But this is the beginning of the Iranian thing the Pakistanis had promised the Americans. And that is why this happened. So this is going to increase. This is not going to decrease. The Shia, because once the Shia-Sunni conflict, plays in Pakistan, it doesn't die out. Now they have called for a 1-week ceasefire, but this is, I think, the fifth ceasefire in last 3 months. जो 1 week का इन्होंने बुलाया, but it never stays. And given the intensity of the conflict this time, wherein more than about 100 people have died, and they have burned down villages there, क्योंकि जो इस बारी की intensity है, that is 10 times higher of what we have seen before happen. So this is the beginning of that long conflict which they are promising the Americans that will take right into Iran. यहाँ से शुरू होगा वो. So now the Iranians will try to keep their Zibayun brigade busy and reinforce them in this area on the borders between Balochistan on Afghanistan and between on the Kuram agency. And Kuram agency is very, very important for Pakistan in that sense. That is why this has happened. So one is that reason. Second reason is that the Imran thing is there. So KP guys know what they are up to. So this escalation in Pakistan is one to destabilize the internal security. Second, the Pakistanis want to take out their own advantage and say that since we've got it, now let's counter on it. So दोनों तरफ का war चल रहा है इनके अंदर. Strategy and counter strategy both are being played. That is what is happening.
पाकिस्तान को ओवरऑल देखोगे, मैंने आज सुबह, अगर आप ओवरऑल
sounds a bit confusing.
हाँ, इट इज कंफ्यूजिंग. तो ओवरऑल एक तरह नजरिया डालते हैं, यू हैव पीओजेके के अंदर जबरदस्त प्रोटेस्ट चल रहे हैं इस टाइम पे. देयर इज हेवी अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोटेस्टिंग,
दैट इज बिकॉज़ ऑफ द
ऑर्डिनेंस की वजह से. एंड वहां पर भी 6-7 पुलिस ऑफिसर्स को ये लोग किडनैप करके चले गए हैं, और सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस की काफी धमकी हो रही है उधर.
हां, दे हैव टेकन देम. यस,
अलेजेडली जो पता चल रहा है, जो मेरे सोर्सेज बता रहे हैं कि उनमें से 3 को तो मार के फिर से वही गर्दन काट के फुटबॉल खेला गया वहां पर भी. ठीक है, तो ये भी
वेरी नॉर्मल.
हाँ. दूसरा कि चाइनीज का जो एक यहाँ वहां पर जो पास है, खुंजर पास के पास, इन लोगों ने ब्लॉकेड कर लिया है पीओजेके वालों ने. तो कहीं ना कहीं वहां पे भी थोड़ी इशू स्टार्ट हो गए हैं. केपी में आप बता रहे हो वैसी पंगे हैं. ऊपर से ये दिस खुरम एजेंसी के अंदर बैंड बजी हुई है। बलोचिस्तान के अंदर पाकिस्तानी आर्मी ने अभी ऑपरेशन लॉन्च करा है, बट वो ऑपरेशन आप सबको पता है कि 2-3 दिन से ज्यादा चल नहीं सकता। देयर इज नो पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ इट टू गो। सिंध में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो आ रही है, सिंध अब रोना शुरू हो गया पानी के लिए, क्योंकि पाकिस्तानियों ने चाइनीज को जाके प्रॉमिस करा है, और यहाँ पर बिलावल भुट्टो और जो शहबाज शरीफ, इसके बीच में भी देयर आर नाउ टसल स्टार्टिंग अप। पाकिस्तानियों ने चाइनीज को बोला है कि हम इंडस के ऊपर डैम शैम लगा के सिंध में पानी जाए ना जाए, बट आपको दे देंगे हम लोग। वो पानी डाइवर्ट करने की बात कर रहे हैं कनाल शनाल के अंदर। तो सिंध भी अभी खड़ा हो रहा है। पंजाब इज दी ओनली प्लेस जहां पर थोड़ा बहुत गड़बड़ नहीं है, वहां पर इमरान खान आके खड़ा हुआ है। तो कोई ऐसी जगह है पाकिस्तान के अंदर जहां पर देयर इज स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एनी सॉर्ट?
No, at present there is not even a single place where there is stability or they can say it's controlled. Every province of Pakistan is burning in a different way. But you know, in Balochistan, Pakistani army has launched an operation. But at the same time, the Chinese are conducting a joint operation with the Pakistani army there. The day they announced that operation,
एक्सरसाइज चल रही है ना, एंटी टेरर एक्सरसाइज।
but I am not sure if that is an exercise or actually the Chinese are with the Pakistani army saying that show us that how you do the operations. They are actually aiding them. I'll come to know about that.
Are you trying to say ये डिप्लॉय कर रहे हैं वहां पर?
मेरा शक है कि डिप्लॉय कर रहे हैं because the timing is not coincidental. The day they announced, second day the Chinese, I think 13th or 18th Corps, I don't remember exactly which corps is that Mountain Brigade that landed up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese are saying we will do this and you stay behind us, or we do it together. We want to observe how you do this, how bravely you fight. क्योंकि देखो ऑपरेशन तो लॉन्च हो गया, बट न्यूज कोई नहीं आ रही कि हो क्या रहा है. Not even a single news has come out that what have they achieved in this operation. They have achieved nothing in this operation. So I don't know what the Chinese are up to. I think this is a joint operation. I don't think they're doing an exercise. I think this is where Chinese are actually now, putting their soldiers on the ground. Especially around Gwadar.
तो आपको भी एंड गेम क्या दिखता है अगले 2-4 दिन में, बिफोर वी एक्चुअली डू अनदर अपडेट बाय इन द नेक्स्ट 2-3 days, आपको एंड गेम क्या दिखता है?
By tomorrow morning, by tomorrow afternoon, I have a very clear picture of what is happening in Pakistan. But my end game is very simple. Asim Munir might do a U-turn, and the Sunni is finally U-turn, and he'll be going bye-bye. Because the way Imran's wife also said, ki, Imran will not take badla, means ki he's shit scared that if the guy comes out, maybe he changes. So maybe the negotiation is there. I don't know. Or this goes full Monty, and he enforces a complete this thing, martial law. Because abhi bhi वैसे भी पाकिस्तानी रो रहे हैं that we are under a soft martial law. So he might get an option saying that everything is going very bad from KP to Balochistan to mainland Pakistan. We need to deploy. So they might actually do that. But this position will be clear by tomorrow. By tomorrow evening, things will be very clear what is happening. Will come to
enforce कर पाएगा ये martial law?
That is a separate question ना, वो हम देखेंगे क्या करेगा. ये कदम तो उठा लेता है, but फिर उसको कर नहीं पाता ना. The problem with the man is that he takes a decision, he gets into something, then he makes a U-turn. So you don't know what he will do. He might do it and then say, no. Shahbaz is out, let me get Bilawal inside. Let me get Maulana inside. Let me make a deal with Imran. We don't know that. But he might take that decision. If this goes out of hand by tomorrow afternoon, he might have to take a decision.
I'll ask you one last question before we get into audience questions as well. The simple thing is that you have अभी इस टाइम पे ये जो इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी है इस टाइम पे कितना टॉलरेट करेगी पाकिस्तान को? इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी से मेरा मतलब इज अमेरिका ऑफ कोर्स, बट how long do you think America will tolerate this nonsense? क्योंकि देखिए whatever said and done, this democratic establishment is going out, and जो नया establishment है वो आ रहा है. कितना टाइम टॉलरेट करेंगे ये लोग?
As long as they have to, unless and until it is not, compromising on their own interest, why should they be worried what is happening there? On the contrary, both the Republicans and the Democrats should be happy that the Pakistanis are destroying themselves. They're unstable. As long as their core interests are met, I don't think the Americans would be worried about it. Why do the Americans need to be worried about it? Because they don't care about Pakistan clearly. They just use it as a vassal state. So let them use it that way. And since they have shown that intention of working on their core interest with Kuram and Parachinar, I mean, the Americans would be happy. They would say, destroy yourself inside as long as you create chaos. We don't care. That is how it is going to be.
So basically, the focus will be on Balochistan.
Both KP and Balochistan. I have a hunch that the Pakistani army will get into KP. But I can only tell this to you tomorrow. I won't be able to tell you today.
This is really really amazing, I must say. That this stuff is happening. Guys, जरा आप वीडियो को लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए. Let's take a few questions because let's let Raja ji go because he has to attend to a friend. I must say thank you so much, Raja ji, for taking out the time.
I'm really sorry. Thank you. I'm extremely sorry, but I will overcompensate this. But I'm extremely sorry. So yeah, I'm doing it from a hospital. So
I can see the CT room behind you, यार. तो दिख रहा है मेरे को. ठीक है, and I'm sure the audience can also see that. But thank you so much, man. You've been very kind. Guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, yeah, share this with your friends and families. And most importantly, guys, आप लोग मैं सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा. मैंने शाम को एक पोस्ट डाला था. You know, I'm gonna show this to you. Wait, I'll just show this to you. This is something that you have to do on the channel. So please look at this very carefully. ठीक है, I want to display this to you. When you open the channel, this is what you see. Okay, this is the subscribe button. यहाँ पर it needs to be at all. ठीक है, if it is personalized, आपको notifications नहीं आएंगे. Let me say that very clearly. It will not come. And this is something that I found out today. So these notifications will only come if you have this. ये जो subscribe वाला button है आपका, इसके आगे जो bell icon है, it needs to be black. So please make sure it is black so that you get notifications because a lot of you have been complaining, yeah, notifications नहीं आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, I know whatever games YouTube and this and that are playing, मेरे को वो सब तो छोड़ दीजिए. Let's kind of focus on helping the channel out and stabilizing the channel because that is very very critical. Of course, आप लोग इस channel की तरफ contribute भी कर सकते हैं using the QR code या फिर PayPal या फिर super sticker, super chats. And as promised, this week once again I will get Raja ji to actually discuss this and Bangladesh, East and West Pakistan together.
So we'll maybe Tuesday night or Wednesday night we'll be able to do. We should be
Tuesday night we'll do something. So either it's going to be East and West Pakistan together. We will talk. हो क्या रहा है? So let's take some questions. सबसे पहले मैं members को acknowledge कर देता हूँ. Parul ji, thank you. Deepak ji, Millie ji, thank you so much. And Preeta Chaudhary ji, thank you so much for becoming members. Rizwan ji, thank you so much. Multi-part question. Pakistani nukes. There is a US-China agreement, but what stops a general from selling it? Any punitive countermeasures? What is the chances of Pakistani army using the nukes in Afghanistan out of desperation?
Not happening. One, the electronic controls of it is with the Chinese. Second thing is, why in Afghanistan? I mean, why would they need to use nukes in Afghanistan? It doesn't make any sense. Second thing is, they cannot sell it. It's not something which can you do, which is an over-the-counter product which you can sell like other arms. Nukes cannot be sold, and Pakistani journalists will not be able to sell it to any country. The only country which will buy them, and that will be the end of Pakistan, will be Saudi Arabia. That we have already predicted. That that will be a best case scenario. So let's see what happens there. But this nuke fair, don't have this Pakistani nuke fair. It's not going to. It's not a problem.
Okay, Rizwan ji, thank you so much once again for your super sticker. Naveen Avasti ji, thank you so much. Raja sir, hope your friend gets better. Thanks for accommodating a session. Isn't it high time a satta be started on how soon Pakistan disintegrates?
Thank you, brother. I'm ready. Thank you for your wishes. I think it's too soon for the satta. We'll go on the satta bazaar also, but abhi ruk jao zara. Abhi let the process begin. It's a bit too soon for that.
One second. Yeah. Okay. Bittersweet. Thank you so much for your contribution. Saurabh Anandji, thank you so much. Karma hits back. Artificial Pakistan state will suffer even after 71.
That is the end result of the Pakistan. Yes, that is going to happen. It is an artificial state, and that is what will happen. Agreed.
71 वाला स्टेट का तो अलग ही गेम है, उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे, बट
मल्टीपल 71 होगा, वो मल्टीपल 71 होगा, वो एक 71 नहीं होगा.
Okay, Srinivas ji, thank you so much. Pranam Raja ji. It is surprising that the youth are behind Imran Khan. One would think that PMLN and PPP have more loyal voter base, older demographics. Your thoughts?
No, sir. PML and PPP don't have a loyal voter base because of their, you can say, a very long history of very ineffective governance in Pakistan. The youth, which is the strength of PTI, is something which Imran found and rejuvenated, and the youth have a lot of hope from him. That Imran is somebody who can deliver to their aspirations. So PTI का जो core है वो youth है, core voter base जो वो youth है. So youth is behind Imran Khan. That is why Imran is so powerful. The older generation is not that much. They are also now behind Imran. They are also tired. They know the game. They know the establishment game. But the young population of Pakistan firmly stands behind PTI, and that is PTI's core strength.
Shadoji says Bushra Biwi को तो सऊदी के अगेंस्ट में स्टेटमेंट दे दिया.
Yeah, but देखो, that is partially true what she said, because things between him and Bin Salman didn't go well. That is right. But उसका इशारा अमेरिका की तरफ था, उसने सऊदी की तरफ कर दिया. वो सऊदीज की तरफ इसलिए किया होगा क्योंकि आज की डेट में the Saudis, now see a very intelligent Pakistani game. The Saudis have just done a concert and they're trying to modernize. And Bushra Bibi said कि इन्होंने मेरा इस्लाम जो है वो जो असली इस्लाम है, जो पाकिस्तानी रेडिकलाइज माइंड है, उसको अपील करने के लिए ये बोला कि इमरान जो था वो नंगे पैर चला मदीना में और इन्होंने उसको हटा दिया क्योंकि इनको वो वैसा इस्लामिक बंदा नहीं चाहिए था. So she was basically hitting on the core of the Pakistani heart, which is the radicalism, saying that my husband is very radicalized Muslim, and that is what he wanted. That is the game there.
जिहादी खान बन गया वो.
So basically, more we can say more Islamic than a Saudi, more Muslim than a Saudi Muslim. That's what they are trying to say.
Sarwani ji, thank you. You say as long as Sheikh Hasina stays in Delhi, we cannot do a geographical correction or even take hard stand against Bangladesh, as it paints Hasina as a traitor. How do we find a solution? I don't agree with that.
We don't agree with that. One. Number two is that this is just starting in Bangladesh. There is, the corrections are not going to be overnight corrections. They take a long time. And a lot is to be played in the region still. Wait for Donald Trump to come in. There will be a lot of corrections which the Americans would be doing also. So we will not be only carrying out the corrections. So let's wait and let's see what happens.
Aditya ji says Raja Muneeb's analysis is spot on more often than not. Is he part of the Pakistani deep state, more specifically ISI, या फिर RA का एजेंट है?
आदित्य भाई क्या चाहते हो? हॉस्पिटल से सीधे जेल में ले जाए मुझे? मतलब is that what you really want? नहीं भाई, it's just prayers of you guys. My analysis is spot on because I put a lot of hard work reading these idiots. So I'm not. And let me tell you, ISIs are very, very bad. Their analysis is extremely bad. I cannot be them. Definitely not them. Could be anybody else.
मतलब I had to take this comment यार, इतना funny था ना, मैं बोला यार ये तो लेना पड़ेगा.
It is really a funny comment.
By the way, let me just say this, guys. I'm going to be meeting Raja Saab in Kashmir on the Kashmir Lit Fest on between the 7th to the 9th. So obviously there'll be a face-to-face podcast as well. It'll be a pleasure to meet him first time. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and if you have questions for that beforehand, you can send it to him and we'll answer those questions. Beforehand, अगर कुछ questions होंगे तो please.
Hindutva perspective. He says if ISIS takes control of the nuclear weapon, should India be worried about it or them using
where
the
is ISIS? How will they? They are not going to take control of Pakistan. For that, you need to take control of the state. It is not happening. Don't worry about it. The fringe groups don't take control of these things. Iran नहीं बना पा रहा nuclear, ISIS कहाँ से?
Second last question. Ghosh Saab says, how are they going to fund every operation?
They have good funding mechanism. Their overseas funding is very, very heavy. then obviously they have their businessmen who do hanky-pankies. They
नहीं,
all are
नहीं,
involved
नहीं.
into
He's asking about Pakistani army. How are they funding these operations?
Pakistani army. Which operations? The one in
ये
Balochistan. That is why I'm saying the Chinese. So they are on loan. The operation as they come, they had no money. They couldn't take it off. So they are launching it in the air on Twitter. It doesn't cost much to be on Twitter and on air, no? On the ground, they have not been able to do that.
Okay. Sachin Saab says, Namaste Aadi ji and Raja ji, appreciate your commitment. My question is, how are these protests funded and coordinated? That too under the establishment who has great experience in crushing voices. This is the flip side now.
How are these protests funded? And so this is what I'm saying, that one, the overseas Pakistanis donate a lot of money to the PTI. Second, within Pakistan, there are a lot of people who actually, their own politicians are very rich and they bankroll it and they have funding mechanisms to fund all these things. So every Pakistani politician is a millionaire in himself, billionaire in himself. So they have to fund these things and they get funded. And then obviously they have business interest and all that. They have overt and covert both kind of fundings. So it happens.
And last one, thought provocator Saab, thank you so much. He says Munir will start satta for Pakistani breakup for dollars.
Well, this is true actually. He's the one who has actually brought it downfall of Pakistan very quickly. So this general is somebody who has been the extreme. Pakistan was going to the Satta Bazaar of people making kind of bets on when it is going to go down. So and he could do it for his own. Dollar ले आएगा, ठीक है, आ रहा पैसा तो क्या फर्क पड़ता?
You know, funny thing is that as I am Munir is still wondering what is going to happen to him. As I am Munir. So काफी गड़बड़ है उसके पास, and there's going to be a lot of challenges as far as him is concerned. But Raja ji, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, sir, and I'm really sorry once again. Extremely
not
sorry.
A problem. We shall catch up one time else in this week and do a detailed discussion. And I hope your friend recovers really, really fast. Please pass our regards, all of our regards to him. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you so much.